Hello, once again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is CJ Schumacher. This is my co-host.
I'm Joey Stafford.
All right, and we are back. Well, we got a new name, a new look, and some new Star Wars content. So, as you can probably see in our bio and in our name and in our logo, and if you want to check us out on Instagram, do that. It's a big change. We changed it up. Holocron Central. That's the new name we landed on. We decided Take Your Podcast just wasn't cutting it. We decided to
The
clean.
podcast wasn't cutting it.
Exactly. We decided to stay away from the podcast. So we decided just to go just YouTube straight. So here we are. Joey is currently a few hours away from me right now, and I'm a few hours away from him. And so we decided we're going to start off our new series and new channel name, quote unquote, new on Zoom. Since we're so far away, might as well give it a shot. You got to start somewhere. So, like I said, my name is CJ, and that's Joey, and welcome to Holocron Central. So we're going to be a little bit more formatted in this series and this channel than we were in the last one. Hopefully so. Knowing me, I'm an idiot, so it's what it is. We'll still share some 3D prints that Joey does, because I'm sure he's going to be making some more. I'll share some more. I got a 3D printer, so I'll start, working on that, and then, just work our way down the line. We got a lot of Star Wars content to go over today, even, and in the next coming years, because the Obi-Wan series apparently is done filming, so they're ready to roll. Yeah, so we're getting ready to roll. They're not going to be out till 2022, but I'm ready for it. All right, our first segment of the day: news.
The news.
All right. So for first news, Carl Weathers, aka Grief Karga, has just come out that the Mandalorian season 3 is starting to film next month.
They're making a season 3.
Season 3 next month.
That could be Star Wars leaked that picture or the poster or whatever of Luke and Grogu using the Force to build a lightsaber.
I think it has something to do with that. I know there's a lot of problems going on with Pedro Pascal not wanting to come back and a lot of disagreements there. That's going to go not too well from what their story, because I believe they were going to do some more having to do with Mandalore and how taking it back.
Mm-hmm.
But with Mandalorian, you're opening up a whole lot of doors. You got the Ahsoka series, you got
When's the Ahsoka
Book of
series
Boba.
come out? I forgot about that.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't think they really set on a date yet. I'm sure in the next year. Book of Boba is coming out in September, though.
September.
So that's coming soon.
September?
I'm sorry?
It comes out like next month.
Yeah.
Bro, let's go.
Yeah. And then we also have, actually, I believe it might come out in November. I'm lying to you. I think it's Visions that is coming out in September.
Yeah, that sounds more right.
Yeah, I think Visions come out, which Visions isn't canon. It's just a little fun series, little anime series that they gave anime comic writers and visual artists in Japan an opportunity to do so. So it's going to be a cool series. I'm not too excited about it just because it's not canon. So it's just a fun story thing. So if you're bored and you want to watch it, there you go. There's Visions. So also on news, we're also going to get another comics series from Marvel. It's going to be Crimson Reign. It's going to focus on Kira, which is from Solo, and it's going to be between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That's going to come in November, so we'll get to see her, and I'm sure in Crimson Dawn.
Darth
So
Maul.
I think you think Darth Maul's coming back?
He should be in that. No, he dies before A New Hope. Never mind.
So we'll see what happens, but it's all right. Maybe there's some relatives of Darth Maul. You don't know throughout Marvel. Disney always throws out something there.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's really it for news. It's been a kind of a quiet week, but we're all right. Nothing really ginormous. What do you think, Joey? Is that good news so far?
Seems fine to me.
A little dry this week. It's all right. It's all right. We're going to get more.
We'll dry for a while.
Yeah. Now we're going to get into our main event. You ready, Joey?
Bad Batch.
Star Wars, the Bad Batch, baby. The Bad Batch. Well, we're a little late on it. It came out May the 4th, and it was a pretty long episode, about an hour, right?
It was an hour 40.
An hour episode.
It was like a full-on
I was
movie.
really excited about that, and I was really disappointed that the finale was not even close to that. It was
No,
just a regular length
it was a
episode,
normal episode.
and I was kind of disappointed in that because I expected a little bit more. Like I said, we're late on it. It came out May the 4th, but we're here now and ready to talk about it. So what we're going to do is basically go over 1 through 15, just give a little brief exodus over it and talk about it a little bit. 16th, we're going to talk about a little more. It's a little more fresh in our heads. And that also is the big deal because, it's the end of, spoiler alert, it's Camino. And Camino, and it's the start of Lama Su. Or is that Lama Se?
I never thought of like what happened to Camino before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You didn't know about it till now. You never thought it was happening that. But then you also have, like I said, I think Lama Se, or is it Namase, or I hate this Camino name. It's the one, the clone scientist.
Yeah.
Is working for the Empire now, which is huge, because it ties into the not the prequels,
like,
but the sequels.
Snoke stuff, doesn't it?
That's the thing. Snoke. You have Palpatine itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got Snoke's in a jar, man. It ties into Snoke's in a jar.
Well, actually,
and then also inadvertently, that could tie into the Mandalorian. Because you saw the lady walk out with goggles or whatever. It's like that guy from Mandalorian season 2, I believe. The scientist, season 1 and 2.
And they need
scientist.
Blood to try to clone a Force-sensitive child.
That's what I'm saying. I'm tying a lot of opportunities. Dave Filoni's doing a good job, giving a lot of open doors. And speaking of a lot of open doors, we have a lot of characters come back. I'm really excited for some of them because I think some of them might even get their own little spinoff. You want my personal opinion?
Like who?
Yeah. Cad Bane, for one.
I hope not.
I think he'll get a spinoff. I know you don't like him, but
he's just always.
Some people absolutely love him.
He's like he was the nuisance of the Clone Wars. He's now the nuisance of Bad Batch. Someone just needs to pop him in the head, dude. He's not that hard to beat. He's just. Oh.
Well, another one, for instance, Hera Syndulla. I think she might get another little spinoff, and we haven't seen Kanan again. Caleb Doom. We haven't seen him again. We saw him on the first episode.
Caleb Doom. I thought that was really cool. I knew who
that
it
was very
right away, based off of his lightsaber.
Yep, and it was very cool to see him, and it's cool to see Hera. And I'm excited because I guarantee you this. Huh?
You think Hera's gonna get a spinoff?
Something like that. They're end up showing how they met, and how they formed the group. It's exactly what's gonna happen. How Rebels came about. The show Rebels.
This and really line up good for Rebels because we got to see Hera, Kane, all that stuff.
What we did get to see though is Hera's mom passed away. So I'm curious of how she passed away because she's not in Rebels.
Or her dad.
Hera's dad is. Her dad is. Dad's in Rebels. But we don't see the mom, and we knew the mom passed away. However, how she died, we don't know. So that's why I think they're going to have a little spinoff onto it. So that's exciting to have all that. So we're going to basically go over all the episodes here and just give a quick overview over what's going about. So first episode, we have Aftermath. It's the hour and 40-some minute episode that we had. You get Caleb Dune in there. You get his master. You get Order 66. That was just so cool. I love seeing different outlooks on Order 66. They did it in the Clone Wars. They did it here. I love it.
That was the best episode, if not the second best.
It was absolutely amazing how they did it. And they talked about Obi-Wan, how he was going to fight with General Grievous, and I was very excited about this episode. It was crazy.
It's cool how we have multiple events now that lined up with Order 66. Like we have Revenge of the Sith events, Ahsoka's siege on Mandalore, and now the Bad Batch. Like it's all coming together, and they happen all at the same time. That's just cool to watch.
It's very cool. And then we get Tarkin back in there, back in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lamasu and Namase, or Namasu and Lamase. I don't know which one it is. I know the one's the female clone one. The other one's the leader, politician.
The
Politician does
Prime
not
Minister.
have a very good storyline at the end. Well, matter of fact, he doesn't have a storyline anymore at all because he's dead. Spoiler alert. All right. So that's basically what Aftermath is. It's just a whole overview about Order 66. And we have a problem because one of the Bad Batch has one of his inhibitor chips become a little activated,
Well, they
just a
all
little
do,
bit.
but Crosshair acts up, bro.
Good soldiers follow orders.
Mm-hmm.
So Crosshair, we had a little problem with him, and then they meet Omega, which huge. That's another spinoff that's gonna happen. And it's gonna end up in being Book of Boba.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Boba and Omega are gonna meet.
The first 6 episodes, she was nothing but annoying. But then her character development, it was kind of like Ahsoka's character development. She started off super annoying, then by the end, she's the most important person.
It was amazing how they tied in Boba as well, because they talked about how there was Alpha and Omega, and Alpha being Boba. And that was, you only saw him because you watched, Attack of the Clones, you get to see him. But
I think that's going to be the Book of Boba Fett, is him trying to track her down. Along with that bounty hunter that was trying to protect her.
Fennec Shan. That's another one that's going to get, I think, is going to get another spinoff, which I think the spinoff is going to be more towards Book of Boba. She saw her in The Mandalorian, and here you only get to see her because she's just starting out. She's just new. We also met the Transdoshan, same as, what's his face? The bounty hunter, Bosk. Bosk with 2 Ks. And her name is Sid, and apparently she's the one that gives out everyone's little, you want a job, you want a side quest here, you want a side quest here. She's the reason we get 16 episodes. That's and true. A lot of wasted filler episodes.
Yep.
But so that was basically Aftermath, is Crosshair's traitorness, which they also kicked in his inhibitor chip a little bit more. So then episode 2, we have Cut and Run, which little throwback to the Clone Wars. We get to meet Cut. And we had Rex had a run in with him during the Clone Wars, and now we have the Bad Batch. Apparently he's friends with them. We didn't know we had friends there, but apparently so, we do. And this episode's big too, because that's when you start getting your Empire identification codes, or your
and they start to switch to stuff.
Exactly, chain codes, yes. Which is huge, because then you start getting that transition to the Empire. This is really, I like this season or series, because you get to go from Empire all the way up, or the Republic all the way up to the Empire, and it just ties in.
Transition from clones to stormtroopers too, slowly throughout it, and then right at the end, they just kill them all off.
Which is also kind of funny, because you get to see how bad they are. The Bad Batch is just talking about how these are our replacements. These are awful.
Yeah, they are not superior.
How they're terrible shots. And, well, like I said, this war would have been completely different if the Empire wasn't stingy. Think about those ships that they were supposed to make in Rebels that Thrawn designed.
Yeah.
Instead of that, they decided to go with the TIE Fighter because they were cheaper and you could make more of them. But if they made the TIE Defender instead, it would have been a different story. Or if they decided to stick with clones and spent more money, it would have been different. And by the way, who are they owing money to? You just make more money. They control the whole galaxy. Why is it they weren't about the expenses about stuff? It makes no sense.
I mean, I guess it's true, but then I think they try to keep it realistic, like it is in real life, because the more you make, or the more money you make, the less valuable it is.
Yeah, but they control the whole. I don't. It's whatever. Capitalism, baby. Anyways.
Because I think, other than taking over everything, I still think they tried to keep, like, the banking clan together and all this rich separatists and stuff.
Well, there's also, I believe, there's a comic that talks about what happens to the separatists. Committee or separatists, whatever. I know most of them are killed by Anakin.
Yeah.
And on oh gosh, I can't think of the planet. On a lava planet in Revenge of the Sith. So then we go to episode 3, which is replacements. Bad Batch gets stuck on a desolate moon. We get to see those dragons that suck energy. But this is cool. No one really noticed this, but this is really cool. Freaking Crosshair comes out of one of those little medical tubes. It basically looks like a CAT scan. Comes out.
Mm-hmm.
He just came through a procedure, and they don't talk about it. And Tarkin says, well, let's see if this works. Let's see if this happens. See if it works better or still be stick to it. So he got his inhibitor chip removed in this episode,
Why
which is a
did
big
they
deal.
want him to take it out? So he could prove
To
his
see if
loyalty?
he would still be loyal. Yeah.
So that was their test to see if stormtroopers would work.
Yes. For that. And I'm telling you, it's also that's also another thing is the clone troopers had a little bit more honor and morals and weren't bought. They were just trained to be soldiers than the actual troopers where they go around and just collect children and
Well, they
because they
were
just
trained the right way too.
they recruit. That's what I'm saying. The recruiters, um, they're there for the money, so they're gonna be low because they're paycheck. They got the guy said in an episode, they get a roof over their head, they get fed, and they get paid. That's
Mm-hmm.
all that matters to them. So that is a big episode there just because he gets his chip removed and you don't realize it till talks about it. So episode 4 we have Cornered, which is a big deal because Fennec Shan comes out about
Yeah.
how the woodworks. So we curious because who sent Fennec Shan? Who was the one that sent the bounty hunter after Omega?
We
So
find that answer out, don't we?
we do find that answer out.
Oh, I remember now. It was Namaste, whatever.
Lama Sue, whatever the female one was, because the male one sent, or the politician sent Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, just to kill her, get rid of her.
Mm-hmm. So then we have, not kill her, but you mean take her back because that's an asset. And then we have Rampage. So we meet Moochie,
Oh,
Rancor, Moochie the Rancor.
Rip Moochie.
So Sid sends them on a side quest, and they think Moochie is a
kid,
a girl from Ryloth, a Twi'lek, or
Mhm.
Twi'lek, or however you pronounce it. And they're like, Moochie, we'll save you, Moochie. Right? Wrecker's being real nice, and well, Moochie's not. Moochie's the Rancor. Love that. That was just stupid. It was like a filler episode.
Yeah,
Um,
it was still kind of cool.
and Omega finds out a lot about this. This is one of the learning episodes for Omega. She has learned about slavery, which is a big deal because this is developing her character because she spent her whole life on Camino. She never saw space. And then episode 1, she got to watch, going into hyperspace. And she loved that one. Or loved that experience. So, like I said, we have Rampage. Now, this Rancor is not the Rancor from Return of the Jedi.
Really?
It is not. I had listened to some other people who were talking about it, did some other canon research. There's another comic. I forget the actual name of the actual Rancor, but it is not Moochie. So,
wow.
Yep, it is not. So it's just a Rancor that Jabba loves. I think Jabba just liked his Rancors.
Well, that's cool.
That is cool, isn't it? So then next one we have Decommissioned, which they end up on another side quest from Sid. And they go in a droid decommissioning factory.
Oh.
They try and get a tactical droid's head so they can learn the Empire's moves and whatnot. They run into some trouble because there's other smugglers that are trying to steal the information.
Yeah, the twiddle dumb and twiddle dumber.
The waste of 4 or 5 episodes in the Clone Wars. Wasted Ahsoka's time. We have Rafa and I forget the other girl's name.
I don't even care. They're worthless to me.
Yeah, well, they come and we get to see that's another tie-in from the Clone Wars. Well, they end up with the information.
Cad Bane series is if he kills both of them.
So we have, they get in a little battle there, and then finally they get the information from the tactical droid's head, and Batch ends up giving Rafa and her sister the information. And then at the end of the episode, they end up calling someone. Who do you think they ended up calling?
Ahsoka.
You think Ahsoka?
Either that or she hooked him up. She hooked them up with contacts to the rebellion.
If you want my personal opinion, I believe it was Rex.
That's what either Rex or Ahsoka or someone tied in with both of them.
It's going to be Rex, and that's another one I think is going to get another spinoff. Is Rex.
I hope so.
They can do so much. They can do so much. They branch off so many different ways. I think Rex is going to be one of those characters that gets its own little spinoff. So then we go to Battle Scars, which as they traverse a decommissioned medical factory, the Bad Batch encounter an unexpected threat. So just another little episode. Then we have Reunion, which the Bad Batch find themselves, which I believe episode 7 is a big deal because that is when they get their inhibitor chips out.
Yeah, that's Battle Stars, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's when they meet Rex for the first time in the series too.
So that's a big deal in that episode. And then we also have
Wrecker goes AWOL.
Yeah, Wrecker goes AWOL for a bit, and so we get their inhibitor chips removed completely, and then we had episode 8 is basically like a part 2 to that. Crosshair runs up there, and we get a whole battle between them and Crosshair, and get to see how those two tactics collide because Crosshair knows them just too well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then episode 9 we have good old Bad Batch's enemy, Cad Bane. He gets coming around and takes her and whatnot, and really not too much in that episode.
Now,
I mean, it's cool.
When they do that whole fight, is that on Bespin?
No, that is a decommissioned Camino cloning center. It's not on Bespin. It's a different area, a different floating city. Yep. All right, so then we go to Common Ground, which the Bad Batch goes off and leaves Omega behind, and Omega stays back, and she wins Sid a lot of money and ends up.
This is when she starts to prove herself.
Yeah, she takes out all of the Bad Batch's debt they have to Sid.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Devil's Deal. As the seeds of rebellion ferment on an outer rim world, the Empire schemes to squash it. So, like another filler episode. That one. Episode 12, we have Rescue on Ryloth, which we get to meet Hera again and her parents.
And Chopper.
And Chopper. That was cool seeing Chopper. Because I looked up and I saw a little Twi'lek girl and I was like, what's that? And then they hear, and I was like, oh, dude, that's freaking sweet. So that's cool. Actually, excuse me. Devil's Deal and Rescue on Ryloth. Devil's Deal is a big deal because, you get to meet Hera.
That's what I thought. I thought they were like
handed. Excuse me. 11 and 12, because the 12 is a part 2 to that.
Yeah.
It's episode 11. So that's a big deal. Like I said, in those episodes, I expected Hera's mom to die, and she didn't. So I'm curious how that happens. I'm sure we'll get a spinoff. So that's that. You can see what happens on Ryloth and how things change and how they set up the father and try and get him in trouble, try and turn the planet away from him and against him. So you have that. And next we have another big filler episode. I
don't remember it.
That is not a big deal. It's a pain in the ass. It's Infested. Episode 13, we get to meet a gangster and I think I forget his name. It's not really important. He's not a big deal. They act like we're supposed to know him and his we're supposed to know him and his mom. We don't know him. It's just you got to steal the spice and you go through the caverns and
he's a big deal in Rebels, isn't he?
No, he's not. They're the same species, but he's not a character.
You sure?
Yep. Same species.
Because I thought the dude in Rebels was missing his horn also.
Nope, he is, but no.
Okay.
Not him.
Darn.
All right, next we have War Mantle, which you'd see pretty cool because this is the first episode that you get to see the replacements of them. Bad Batch breaks into a Empire facility, get on one planet, and they end up getting into a little trouble, and Hunter gets left behind for a bit. And then we get to see Crosshair and Hunter meet for the first time in a while.
This is episode 14?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And we get to meet Wolf from Rebels. Another tie-in from Rebels. Another freaking tie-in. That's how we met Wolf. Or is that Gregor we met?
I think it's
Is it
Gregor.
Wolf or Gregor?
I'm pretty sure it's
It might
Gregor.
be Gregor.
Wolf was Plo Koon.
Anyway, the crazy one. He was
Wolf
loony.
Commander?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't Wolf Plo Koon's commander?
I'm not entirely sure.
And who's Gregor's?
That's a good question. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, then we go to episode 15, and they return to Camino because they brought Hunter back to Camino. And, well, you knew the Bad Batch was coming back for him.
Too obvious.
And there's a good quote by, there's kind of a good quote. I mean, Crosshair is kind of an idiot. He's a shitty character. But one thing that, a good quote by him, they talk about they don't leave their own kind behind most of the time. So he's kind of,
The
pissed
only
off.
reason he's still bad is just because he's salty at them and he just wants to get back.
He's so salty.
And it shows
Yeah,
in the
that's
last two
basically it.
episodes, especially the last
Yeah.
one. He's poking jabs.
And so we have that. Hunter goes, "You tried to kill us." And he said, "I don't have a choice." And then Crosshair repeats back, "And I did." So that was a good little banter because, he really didn't have the choice at the time, but now he does. And now he's just a prick. So
I've never liked him. Just the way he speaks.
yeah, it's they get rid of him. And then now we have episode 15 is a big deal because they start firing upon Camino.
Yeah.
And they start
Honestly,
bombarding
I
it.
think episode 14 and 15 are better than episode 16.
I can agree with that.
Especially
Episode 15, though, is cool because you get to hear Tarkin. When he says the fire on Camino, he goes, "You may fire when ready," which is a direct quote from A New Hope when he said it then.
I don't think that was Tarkin. That was the younger kid.
Nope. "You may fire when ready." Yeah, is that cool? It's literally quote word for word. So that's cool. And then now we get in to the big episode, the finale, that I expect to be longer and a little bit better, not gonna lie to you.
So did I. It's just kind of them escaping.
Season.
I wish there was more action.
I agree, but there wasn't.
Everything that happened in it was too predictable. You knew they were going to struggle with drowning problems and stuff.
Yeah, it was just it was not good of an episode. Especially for a finale, I expected a little bit more. They gave us a lot the whole season, but I expected a lot more. We have them sinking because the Republic, aka the Empire, shot down Camino, was destroying the facility, and Bad Batch gets stuck in there. They're carrying Crosshair on their shoulders. Place starts sinking. They go under. Starts filling with water. They seal themselves in a room. Omega
and Crosshair
saves Crosshair's life, and along with AZ helps him out to get Crosshair out. He's trying to figure out a way to get out, and they see the tunnel, the underwater tunnels that they saw. They conveniently landed upon it, and then floated their way through, start walking, and then there's an underwater creature. There's always a bigger fish.
Too predictable.
And so then go down, and of course the glass is gonna be cracked. They're able to walk across, and finally got through, and along with AZ's help. And then they find these pods. They end up setting charges on the wall.
Nothing made me more mad, but it was also way too predictable. And then when Omega went for AZ.
Yeah, like, why are you doing that? And then you knew Crosshair was going to just help out because it was a character change or something. Eventually, he's going to turn. He's going to end up dying. And he's going to end up doing it like...
I am surprised
making a value. I'm so mad no one died. Only because I expected it to happen. And it needed to happen, but they didn't do it. Just... like, even AZ. Like, that needed to happen. And it didn't. So... That it's basically just them trying to get out
Is
of
AZ
Kamino. That's
is AZ the same droid that helps Fives take his chip out in the Clone Wars?
I don't believe so, but that's a good tie-in. It's possible.
I'll have to
We'll
check
look
it out.
back at that and talk about it. But well, that's basically the episode. And then Crosshair gets a choice because you gave them a choice to join back. He wants to take his chances with the Empire, even though they tried killing him. What a dummy! I hate him. Crosshair's an idiot. And I think that's what they want us to do. Is they want us to hate him now, and then eventually they're going to turn him into like some hero, and we're going to be like, oh, he wasn't bad after all. That's exactly what's going to happen. I know it too well.
Never a hero in my eyes. Never.
Well, that's basically season 1 of the Bad Batch. A lot of tie-ins, the Clone Wars, Rebels. Oh, but then the episode I forgot. The episode ends with a cloner, with a scientist. With Lama Say.
They first of all, that base was freaking sweet. Built into like a volcano or whatever.
That was cool. We've seen it somewhere. We know it. I forget what it is, but that was very cool. And then Lama Say comes out, and then we get clone scientists, and we're happy to work together, excited about what you can do. So then they go back, and they have to start of some Empire cloning, and it started some Snokes, sort of a Palpatine. So there we go. And then that's how the episode ended. Left Crosshair on Kamino. Bad Batch flies off in the Marauder. And then Lama Say ends up on that volcano mountain planet. And then that is how the season ends. Very disappointing finale, in my personal opinion. And I expected it to be at least 40 minutes.
Honestly,
and it was about 26.
It was less disappointing than the Clone Wars finale. I was very.
The Clone Wars finale, I think they did that. I agree that it was a poor finale for the Clone Wars, but they also did that to open some doors. Because then you don't know what happens to Ahsoka. You don't know what happens to Rex. It was cool to see Darth Vader at the end, but
yeah.
But that's the Bad Batch. So I'm excited to see where that goes into. So that will conclude our main event, main theme, main story, main news, main everything. I want to leave everybody with a beautiful quote from our great Qui-Gon Jinn. And I'm also going to read one from Yoda. So Qui-Gon Jinn quote is quite beautiful. There's always a bigger fish. Just remember that. There's always a bigger fish. And the last quote, death is a natural part of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's episode 2. He tells Anakin that when he has visions of his mother dying, right?
Yep. Yep. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll conclude this episode. We'll have a little bit more structured and a little bit more intact episode with a little bit more structure and formatting
smooth
as we go. Yeah, it's better than last ones. We'll also have some little side episodes where we'll do a little 15 minutes there and show how new 3D prints and whatnot. But ladies and gentlemen, I am CJ Schumacher.
And I'm Joey Stafford.
And this has been the first episode of many of Holocron Central. Thanks for listening. Welcome to the first installment of Degapod, the podcast. I'm your host, CJ Schumacher, along with my co-host.
I'm Joey Stafford.
And we are basically starting our own Star Wars themed podcast to talk about anything and everything Star Wars that is soon to be, past, and presently coming out.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm excited for it.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a fun ride. There's a lot of new stuff coming out on Disney Plus.
Yep. Bad Batch coming out May 4th.
That's very, very soon. We got Mandalorian coming out in October. We got Cassian Andor show. We got the Obi-Wan show. There's a lot of movies coming out. Taika Waititi is getting his own movie. It's going to be really, really interesting watch for all these and see where the Star Wars galaxy goes.
Yeah, great time to start a podcast to talk about it. Gonna have a lot of stuff to cover.
Especially with the way Season 2 went of The Mandalorian and how the way Clone Wars ended. I think it's going to be a great way.
A lot of stuff to cover for that, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We are also going to be filming our future episodes and putting them up on our YouTube channel, Dagobod Podcast, and there will be video for you to watch for that.
Absolutely. We realize that not too many of you are going to be watching this, but we hope to grow a nice community, and hopefully you enjoy the takes that we have, and we're going to enjoy the ride.
Yes, sir. Gonna be a grind.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.